Hi, and welcome to the Spartan Sports Report. This week we have Spartan ladies. It's just Spartans, right? Spartan ladies basketball coach Shana Williams. Coach, how are you? Welcome to the show, and Clint here with me, as usual. Yeah.
As usual. I made it through the night.
Yeah. I wasn't going to say a word.
Yeah, we're not going to.
She's not an Ohio State fan.
Oh.
So were you rooting for Notre Dame too?
I really wasn't rooting for anyone.
Good.
Just wanted to see a good game.
Good.
But
And you saw a great game, didn't you? You saw a fantastic
I fell
game.
asleep there for a little bit, but I woke up in the
so
fourth
did Notre
quarter.
Dame. That's crazy.
Yeah, I know. So
Second year as a Spartan coach, you played as a Spartan, so this has got to be, did you ever dream when you were a Spartan that you were going to one day coach the Spartans?
never. Nope.
Yeah.
No, and I always enjoyed it. When I came back from college, I took the JV coach for, 4 or 5 years. And then I stepped away and coached my kids. And then I came back as one summer for the varsity assistant.
Right.
And then my other job, I had to step away from that. And then, 3 years ago now, I took the 8th grade position. Still, and they were wanting to be a part of coaching my daughter and that group. And then last year I got the opportunity to take the head coaching job, and
got it.
it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Caleb got his 3-point shot from you.
He did.
Yeah.
He did.
And Kendall, all the skills, obviously from you, not her dad. I mentioned that.
Her shot might come from her dad, but that's
We don't know about that. I mentioned that to him.
Depends on what percentage she shoots.
You're right.
I talked about it on the on one of the broadcasts, and Chris came up to me after and goes, or at the next game at Lawrenceburg, said, "My uncle was listening and said he heard you talk about how." I was like, "What? Didn't she get it from her mom?" Yeah. So how is it coaching your daughter? Of course, obviously, you never dreamed of coaching the Spartans. Now you're coaching the Spartans as your daughter's playing as a freshman. So you got her all 4 years.
I do. I've coached her since kindergarten,
Right.
and I coached Caleb from 3rd grade up. So not a lot of difference there. It was a bigger stage. But I think we handle it well. We know that when we're in the gym, I'm her coach, and as soon as we walk out of that, I'm her mom again. And so we balance that really well, and she handles it. And there's times I'm on her pretty good, and I think the other girls see that and think, "Oh, okay," But I think so far, it's been good. I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Clint is real proud of his niece when she's playing, and I think you handle that very well.
I try my best.
Yeah. It's like she hits a 3 or something. He's like,
yeah,
she hits a 3.
I can't be as vocal when she doesn't do the right thing.
Yeah. Spartans have a pretty successful season so far this year. Had some tough losses, very good wins. Where are you at this point in the season? Where you expect it to be, or are you a little over that expectation?
We're at 13-6, so overall, I'm pleased with where we're at. I think there's probably about 4 games in there that really hit a nerve with me that I think that we could have or had the chance to win those as well. But right now those are the stepping stones we get to throughout the season, and that's what prepares you for the tournament. So overall, I'm very pleased with where they're at and how they're performing, and especially where we're at this point in the season.
I think one thing this year that I've noticed is last year, just an outside observation, seemed like there's a little bit of not so much team ball. It seemed like there was a little bit of individuals that wanted to. The chemistry, I guess, would be the good way to say that.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Yeah, the chemistry just wasn't really clicking, and when the pressure got on, there was players that would I got to try to do it all. And this year, they have shown stretches of just fantastic teamwork. And when the chemistry clicks with these girls, it is a fun brand of basketball to watch. And I'm sure as a coach, it's probably frustrating in those moments when they're not playing at that level because they're capable of it.
Right.
And it's for whatever reason, we're just not clicking on the cylinders that we should be.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about that from last year. Still to yesterday at practice. We are such a great team.
Yes.
And we don't have that one individual that's scoring 20 points a game.
Right.
It can happen for any of them
Right.
on any given night. And and it's hard for some of the girls to realize that. But we keep talking about. I'm like, okay, when we do a scouting report, like our last one, we had to stop this one girl. I said, if somebody scouts us, what are they looking at?
Sure.
If they're, they stop Anaya this game, then you got Serenity or Addie coming up. Or say if they stop Addie, now you got Anaya, and now you've got Kendall and Kinsey stepping it up right now. So we're just keep trying to remind them that that's what makes us so
Absolutely.
special. And I think they're really buying into it now, and it's fun to watch.
And you can see it too. They wear their hearts on their sleeves, and when it's great, and they're having fun, and they're laughing, and they're joking, and when it's not, you can sense, and I think it's a maturity level. You can see it on their face that it's not there. Something's not clicking. They're trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And speaking of chemistry, Kendall coming in as a freshman. Probably didn't project her having this big a role so early, maybe wanting her to learn a little bit, but lost to JC, which is tough, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah,
you lose her for a season, senior season,
yeah, I was
too.
going to say, she's the only senior.
Yeah.
Well, you got the other girl that's hair always gets in the way.
That's Maddie Harrison, but she's a junior.
Oh, she's a junior? Okay,
Yeah.
I thought there was only
No,
another
JC's the only
JC's
senior
the only
this year.
senior,
And she went
So,
down on
yeah,
an
it's
ACL.
terrible.
Yeah, on New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
we were practicing that morning, and we were doing a defensive drill, and it went the wrong way. And of course, it breaks your heart, and because she just came off the Christmas tournament, having a great tournament at Richmond. And like I said, me in her senior year, never been hurt before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this happened. So, but she's there to practice every day, and she's still leading us.
She's still jumping off the bench just fine to cheer on the team. So
She is, and so she's a
almost like-
huge part of our program.
Brace me up and let me go out and play.
yeah,
But
I talked to her about it before the last game we did, and she was still smiling, but you could tell it's painful, and understandably so.
Yeah, just like you
she
said.
having a great season and playing a very crucial leadership role, even if the stats didn't show it. Her presence on the floor seemed to calm the girls, and
Yeah, and that's and JC's not a vocal leader, and we've talked about that at the beginning of the season. She's like, how am I going to be the captain? And she's comparing herself to Haley from last year.
Yeah, right.
And there's different types
There
of
is.
leaders and captains out there, and and she led by example. Every day in practice she was coming in and busting her butt and doing all the little things. And we talked about even last year with her that she does so many things that don't show up in the stat sheet.
We've talked about that many times. That she does a lot, and there's a lot of girls on your team that do that.
Yeah.
That do so
and
much that does not get on the stat sheet.
Yeah, and as coaches, we love that.
Oh, yeah.
So they're playing with heart and effort, and like I said, those things don't show up on the stat sheet, but it shows up in the win column.
Yeah,
at the end.
Ethan, the kid, he tore his
Ethan
ACL.
Smith.
Yeah, Smith, when he tore his at Batesville, they did the tap senior night. Let him walk on out there, and they tapped it to him, called timeout. Could they do something like that with JC?
We are.
Good.
And
how does that work officially wise? Does that count as a timeout?
No. So we had to contact the IHSAA and get approval for that.
Okay.
So we got written approval that we can do that. So we'll have her start. We had to get. She moved her senior night to Union County next Monday. So we had to get approval from Joey. Or Coach Seidel from Union County.
Joey to us.
Yeah. So we'll tip that off. We'll pass it down to her, let her score. They also have a senior that had a torn ACL.
Yeah.
So we're going to let them pass the ball to her, let them score. So we even up the score.
So there's going to be two.
I
Or
can
2-2.
honestly say that's the first time I've seen it to that extent.
Yeah,
you
that's
always
awesome.
see
Yeah.
a timeout, a tip, a timeout, or
Yeah.
one play, and then they come out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I'll probably have
like
to call
that.
a timeout after that, and we'll do the senior thing, knowing we're there at the
I
end
think
of
you
the
could
game.
spare one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
just
we
got
got
one
I
in
don't
the
usually
tank.
use them, so it's fine.
We won't go to break on that. We'll keep it right
I'll
there
just
at
call
the bowl.
30,
Yeah.
it's fine.
Yeah, we won't do a 30. Which I like when you call it quick. Some of the coaches take forever, and I'm like, I don't know when we're going to go to a break. At least I know when you call time, I know it, you know. But that's nice that she'll get that opportunity and that you're doing that with the Union County girl too as well. Because, I mean, I tell you, injuries, man. I mean, it just have you had to battle with a lot this year?
Have I?
Yeah, have you guys?
We had Anaya was injured early.
Well, she can spring.
Yeah.
She's got some jobs.
Yeah, she
So,
does.
and then Addie got kneed in the thigh at Richmond tournament. It's still kind of bothering her a little bit to keep stretching and rolling her out. And then working with JC, but other than that, we've been pretty good this year.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So when you, I guess the question asked is has this been everything you've expected to be as a coach almost a year and a half, almost 2 years in? I mean, I knew you coached before, but this is the bigger level now.
This is, and I still tell the girls I don't know what I'm doing, you know, but, you know, to come in, and these girls, and I don't know if it's everywhere with coaching, but they welcomed me from the start, and they've wanted to be pushed. They wanted to win. And as coming in as a coach, like anything I asked them to do, they're doing it, you know. And I mean, I couldn't ask for anything better with these girls. And
Well, look at your credentials.
That's what I was
As a
going to
player.
say. It's you're not just a face that stepped in.
Yeah.
You're somebody that they can walk down the halls right outside the ball and say, "Hey, she's been here. She's done this at a high level. Probably knows a little bit what she's talking about." And if we want success, maybe a good idea to listen to her. So, and I think it shows. These girls, they will go to battle for you. And even when we're not calling games, when I'm sitting there just watching the games, I sit a little bit up from the bench. I'm sure you never hear me yelling at all.
Probably never, ever.
But even when you have to really get onto them and just really, you know, crack down, they don't respond in a bad way. They don't take it like, oh my God, she's yelling. They let it sink in and they go back out and they battle.
Yeah.
That's something I always say. You know, wins and losses, you see that on a head coach. Watch the team. How do they respond to the coach?
That's all that matters.
That's going to tell you if that coach has command in the locker room and if she's respected or he's respected. And I think you have done a phenomenal job bringing this program back to what it used to be when you were in school. I remember it was a few years ago, when you were in high school and I was in school. But I
you guys
remember
are so old. That's unbelievable.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ron, dude,
Yeah.
we'll just leave age out of this. I remember traveling, and the thousands of Connorsville fans that would go to sectionals and regionals. Maybe Noble. Was there a regional in Noblesville?
our conference tournament was at Noblesville.
That may have been it.
But my first 2 years, our regional was at Greenfield Central, and then I think my junior year it was at North Central, and then my senior year it was at Southport.
It may have been Southport, actually. I remember one of the times I can remember back then, the gym was absolutely packed for your guys' game. And to see slowly that crowd start coming back in for the girls, it's
nice.
awesome. It is awesome to see because these girls deserve it.
do.
Your coaching staff's doing a great job. It's refreshing. The community, the buzz is, hey, we're getting Lady Spartan basketball back. Yeah. That's great to have.
Mm-hmm.
It is, and like I said, we've talked about that with the girls. They were upset last year. They weren't getting a lot of, fans coming out to watch. And, you have to build that, and it has to be a fun product to come watch, and that's what we've been trying to teach these girls. And, they've, like I said, they come in every day and work their butts off, no matter if coming off a loss or knowing I'm mad or whatever, and the thing is, like, if I have to get into their butt, like, they know it's coming from a good place. Yeah. It's not, we will never degrade anybody. We know their potential, and when they're not playing up to their potential, it hurts our hearts,
Absolutely.
Right.
So we want the best for these girls, and, we'll do everything we can to get them to that level, and I think they're doing a great job, but they deserve so much more and so much more respect.
It's showing.
We've done a lot more games this year, and I've enjoyed it. Enjoyed watching the girls play. They, as Clint said, and we've talked about it on the air, the chemistry that they have with each other is just fantastic. And I'm sure that's something that you're implementing down. I mean, you have to have your fingers on every aspect of this program all the way down through. You guys have dirt road and girls?
It's not dirt road. We have a league coming that starts here in a couple weeks. That we go from 3rd grade to 6th grade. That we have at the field house. That we have surrounding counties come and play on Sundays. So it's not really technically called dirt road, but it's our version of it. Yeah. So.
Clean road.
It's a good feeder.
Yeah.
Clean road. Paved road.
Paved roads and girls are cleaner. Yeah. And good feeder program that I'm sure you'll implement your program.
Yeah, like I said, the Parks League just got over a few weeks ago, and then we go right into this, and then once our season's over, we'll have some like clinics that like we had like a 6-week clinic last year. Just once a week, the girls come in and we just go through drills with them, and it's a free clinic, just to implement that feeder program, so we don't have that law of 10 years of not a winning program again. So
and that's important to you, obviously.
It is, because it was funny, we were talking, it was after the Richmond game where we didn't play so good. The girls are down, they knew I was upset. Bottom line is the better team won that night, but these girls are still learning how to win. They went through, since they were probably 2 or 3 years old, and not seen a winning program and thank goodness, I told them, thank goodness you guys still played, so to get us to where we're at now, but they're still learning that, and you'll see in games like that where we start to struggle, and then maybe we start to point fingers and stuff, and you just have to reel them back in and say, look, play as your team. We say, play Lady Spartan basketball, and I think each game we're learning more and more of that, and that we have the potential to win every single game and how to do that.
And what's amazing about this is when they get as old as Clint, they will, sure you call it that, when they get as old as Clint, they will look back and go, we were the foundation to start this winning program. We were at the genesis of that. And that's going to feel good for them, again, when they get as old as Clint, to look back on. And you're building that for them. Yeah,
and like so when I started playing, like we had that winning tradition here, and so it was instilled in us at a very young age.
Who was your coach? Was it Robbins or Miller?
I had Robbins my first 2 years, and then Miller my last 2.
I thought,
But up until then, it was a winning program, and so like when we played basketball, that's all you knew. Like, you're coming in to win.
Talk about pressure.
And these girls haven't had that, so that's what we're still trying to teach them.
You and April played together, didn't you guys?
Yeah, she's a year younger than me.
And Andrea.
Andrea.
That's right. Yeah, I remember.
Tough squad. I'm telling you, they were a tough squad. A lot of fun to watch. That bowl was packed every game night, every single game night. So I'd love to see it get back. It will. It'll get back there.
Yeah, you'll
and I
bring
think
it back.
the other flip side to that about the benefits you at the varsity level get from a feeder program. I coached some of the girls on your team, and they're, when they were those elementary levels. And something I always thought to myself was, man, it would be cool if the varsity program would run down the line and say, hey, start pushing this. This is the scheme I want to see. This is where I want to see girls focused on. For a long time, you would watch the girls, and it's like nobody has worked with the left hand. Or the offhand. And it was fundamental stuff like that, man, it would have been great to have a coach in your position to come down and have a coach's clinic a couple days and say, hey, this is what I want to see. It makes all the difference in the world, and you may not see the dividends in the first couple years. 5, 6, 7 years down the line, when you're starting to get these girls from that program, you're going to see the benefits of the work you put in.
Or at least see the bigger kids know how to dribble, because they tend to want to throw them in the middle and realize that, well, they may be as tall as they're going to get.
Sure.
And they're going to have to learn how to dribble.
Systematic approach is good in sports.
Learn everything.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Before we get back to what you're going to be coming up, because I'm sure there's a lot more getting ready for the sectionals, we need to talk about the scores from January 13th to the 18th. Boys varsity basketball, they beat Seton Catholic at home 56-47, then lost in overtime to LaPel 53-44. The boys are hosting Batesville this Saturday at the Bowl, and Lady Spartans varsity basketball, they unfortunately lost to that team over there in Richmond, 58-43. Beat Franklin County 60-46 at home, and beat Muncie Central 41-25. So very successful, other than that little blemish against Richmond. But you guys were able to come back.
We were, and we all talk about is how do we respond after like a loss or, after a bad play, or like how do you respond
Right.
from that, And I thought the girls, we came back in on Wednesday and had an okay practice. Thursday was a little bit better, but then they came out Friday for a big conference
Yeah.
game, and I thought responded well
Yeah.
to from that loss on Tuesday, especially on a long week. It was, I think it was their first full week back to school from break
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the weather and everything.
Long
And
They
then
played
3
us,
games.
7:30 and 2:30 the next day?
Yeah.
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 Quick flip.
Yeah, very quick flip.
Yeah. So, and you saw that on Saturday. The girls' legs were getting a little
Yeah.
tired. Had good ball movement. Maybe our shots weren't falling because of the tired legs. But that week, I think, will prepare us for what sectionals.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it'll be a Tuesday, Friday, Saturday
Right.
night
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we had that week to see,
Yeah. Where you're at.
where we're at on that. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice. Girls will host Pendleton Heights this Thursday at the Bowl, and they will play Rushville away on Saturday. We're going to be there and bring that to you live on Saturday at the Lions, then taking on Rushville, another conference opponent.
2 more, right?
We have
Rushville
2
and
more.
East Central.
East Central.
Oh, East Central, yeah. So
Yeah,
very
so
important.
We could finish. We're 4-1 right now in the conference,
Yeah.
tied for second place with East Central. So these last
It
2
could
games
all come down to that game, huh?
It could,
Yeah,
yes.
full second place. Yeah. Of course, Greensburg had to be very good this year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
unfortunately.
won't talk about that.
No, I don't think we'll talk about that as. Here we go. Yeah, just keep rolling that, Justin. I'll catch up with you here in a second. So we're going to be at the game on Thursday, or we're going to be at the game on Saturday. So yeah, a little bit farther down, I think. Yep. As we get ready, let's get the little screen. I like doing this screen thing. I can read pretty quickly. Again,
We'll edit this too.
yeah. Other sports this week, Spartan Wrestling. They placed 8th with 36 points in the EIAC tournament on the 18th. And I believe that's it. So as we get ready for a sectional time, what are you, now, is there a thing, now I know obviously you want to finish second, a sectional. And I say that and people are like, gosh, don't you want to first? Well, I don't think anybody's going to beat Greensburg.
They're not in our sectional this year.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying conference.
Oh, conference, yeah.
So, but as you
yeah.
get prepared for sectional,
Yeah.
are there things that you think, okay, we really got to work on this? Do you, as a coach, and I think we've talked about this, Clint, do you work on those things as opposed to maybe securing a victory more? Or how do you approach it as a coach as you get this close to sectionals?
I mean, we still take one day at a time, one game at a time right now. I think what we need to work on, even in these next 4 games, is we have to be more consistent in our offensive sets. When we get some tough defense, we start to the veer off and not do so much team ball. So we have to be more consistent on our offense. And like I said, we'll work on that today. And that's just every day. We'll keep working on that. Right now, and then we'll do stints with our defense and everything, and we'll mix it up a little bit and keep them guessing what we're going to be playing.
Right,
But yeah, I think the big part right now is just our offense and just clicking a little bit more. Like I said, with JC out now, we brought Kinsey back in the starting lineup. And there's some times where one of us might be driving. She's a sophomore.
A sophomore, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So when one of them start to drive, then we're cutting at the same spot, So just some more team chemistry there with our offense right now is what we'll be working on.
Yeah, and speaking of the chemistry, it's already good now. Just imagine if it gets better before sectional. Talk about gelling at the right time.
Yeah, and that's what we've been
And
wanting.
sectional's achievable.
Yeah.
In years past, it's kind of been like there's some giants in there you got to overcome.
Yeah.
Sectional's very open this year. I think our girls have a good shot. They got to play good ball. I mean, that's at the end of the day, it comes down to you got to play good ball, and
Who's
that's
all
the
in the
time you want to
sectional?
do it.
We have Hamilton Heights, Jay County, Delta, Yorktown, Newcastle, and us.
Yeah, wow.
And the drawing's this Sunday. for sectionals. So.
What's the
Hope you
plans?
get that bye.
Party at your house, right? For the sectional
We're
girl?
actually at Coach Perry's house.
Oh, yeah.
We met there last year, and
Isn't Kevin supposed to be on call?
Yeah, right.
so we're going to meet up there and bring in some food for them and kind of some team bonding stuff, and then watch the drawing there. So we'll see what we do the following week from then.
I hope you get a bye. Have you had a bye? I mean, is it really that advantageous to have a bye?
You know, we got the bye last year, and we played the winner of Batesville, and I forget who they played, but Batesville ended up winning. So we ended up playing that first game that Thursday night. But and the girls are talking this year. I mean, I like the bye, but they don't like it. They want to be in there and play and get their feet wet and get ready to go and get the jitters out like that first game. So, you know, it doesn't matter to me. Just I'm ready to go. And,
You could see it, and you see, even from an observer when you watch college or professional ball, the bye, and was it? I think the boys, when they played Newcastle, we talked about that. They had a whole week off in the Newcastle game. And the pregame were like, this is a problem. When you have all that time off, you're not in that competitive mode, and it takes a while. And they did. The first half was a struggle. Second half, they come out with some fight. But that's always the 50-50 of, is this bye going to help us or is it going to hurt us? Of course, the girls are saying, now, you let one of them get injured, and they're like, God, if we just had the bye.
And then it'll be blaming on Clint.
Right.
He wanted to have. Spartan family lost a member of the family, Mark Beard, passed away last week. I believe it was last week. And so everyone here at TV3 sends out condolences to his family and Spartan Nation.
Yeah, Mark was a pillar for the Connersville Spartans community. I can't remember a time that I went to the Spartan Bowl for a game that Mark Beard wasn't there. Even after he retired, he did a lot of years where he would work in the tunnel, and he would kind of control the pregame and all that stuff. There were three things he loved: Connersville Spartan sports, Los Angeles Dodgers baseball, and the Indiana Hoosiers. And to quote Mark in one of the Mark Beardisms is what we've called him, he would always finish a conversation with, be a gentleman and a scholar. He always pushed students to be their best, athletes to be their best, not just on the court, on the field. He wanted us to be good humans. And I will always appreciate and respect the years of friendship that I got to have with Mark Beard and what he did for this community.
Yeah, good guy. Never held a grudge.
No.
I know that personally.
That's a story for another day, right?
Yeah, cut me off the baseball team, Shana, and I got mad, and I called him every name in the book, and I told Clint when I was telling him the story, I realized, I never got in trouble for that. Never. And I had to take my senior year over again, and I had him twice. I avoided him the whole time after that, had him twice, and not one time did he ever bring it up like, I remember you. Not one time. And I walk up to him, it's toward the end of the semester, I was getting ready to graduate. I said, Mr. Beard, I said, I'm sorry that don't worry about it. I don't. I mean, it was pretty nonchalant, not a big deal. I mean, I liked the guy. And as I got older as an adult, I mean, I should have been kicked out again. I mean, for doing that kind of stuff. But what a great guy. I really liked him. He was a good dude.
Let's not leave out either. 1983 state champ. He was on the coaching staff.
Yes, he was. So, he was. Yeah, we've lost quite a few. Kelly or Work passed away, and Lori Small.
Teaching communities.
Has taken
a few rough losses.
Yeah, so our condolences go out to all those who are mourning the loss of Mark Beard, Lori Smalls, and Kelly or Work. It's been a pleasure having you on our show.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you guys having
30
me.
minutes went quick, so hopefully we can have you back again, hoisting that sectional trophy. And
that's right.
We'll give you a little bit more than a couple days' notice.
Yeah. So it's been great to have you on. And we'll definitely see you on Saturday at the Lions Den.
All right. Thank you.
That's been this edition of Spartan Sports Report. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.